So
Yeah, no, I'm on my third one, so I'm awake.
yeah. That's nice.
Yeah, look, I appreciate you joining, taking the time out to have a quick chat. I'll keep it. I know you burnt out from that last meeting, so it's going to be completely high level. I'm not going to get too technical.
Sure.
Just a quick one for me to sort of understand what where the interest was, specifically what you're doing now. Just a little deep dive into your business, just to see if there is a gap there, just to see if we could even help. And then towards the end of the call, if we're seeing some sort of some gap and we feel like what we do could help you, then we talk about next steps. But I suppose just to start with, Johnny, what was it from that initial email that actually attracted your attention?
I would say it's timing.
Okay.
I've been looking for somebody to help me, so I'm talking to I've pretty much any cold email that has come in regarding cold email. I've been saying, yeah, sure. Show me the source. Show me what's going on.
Cool. How many meetings have you had so far?
Huh?
How many meetings have you had so far with companies?
Like 4 so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what have you liked so far?
I have liked. Some people have offered Google Workspace emails for a cheaper price.
Mm-hmm.
Dear God, when you have, it racks up. I was like talking to my accountant the other day, and I was like, what is going on over here? And I was like, gosh, does it cost that much? God, no wonder. And I was like, yeah, Dropsup is not looking hot. I was like, yeah, definitely not. We've got to shave some places. Yeah, but I've actually, it's stupid because I've actually been paying for like Smartly and all these domains, and I've not been sending out many cold emails.
Okay.
Because I've just been too busy to set them up. Like, I know the copy is there. I just hate scraping it and re-uploading it, downloading it. But I know what to do. I really do know what to do.
That manual work is just, you haven't got the time for that manual work, right?
I don't know what it is. It's so brain dead. I just could not. For the life of me, I just end up going back to Upwork and getting all my clients there. So it's like a warm lead source. And then like you book the meetings and they're cold as hell. You got to warm them up. You got to let them know who you are, blah, blah, blah. The close rate is always much lower than for sources. But I know to scale, it's one channel that I at least need to give a good try. So I've actually been posting a bunch of jobs on Upwork myself. Looking for someone. Just like I was thinking, okay, I could either get like a VA just to like say, hey, here's the copy, put it in here. Here's how you scrape a list, do it, and then use these filtering criteria. And it's like, but then I have to teach her how to filter leads with GPT, because if you start sending, some people are like, oh, it doesn't matter, just blast them anyway. Like, you don't have to filter them. But it's like, but then you run into deliverability issues, because if you start sending emails, like I ran I was targeting, investment companies and whatnot. I just ended up targeting a bunch of schools, and a couple of them got mad. I'll just report to you for spam. And I was like, that's gonna mess up my deliverability now, isn't it? Thanks a lot. So it is important. Look, you have to go through the list and make sure that they're actually passing CP. Because no matter how many, whether you get it from Apollo, whether you get it from, I don't care what your data source is, none of these providers are ever going to give you the super cleanest, squeakiest, cleanest list.
No.
So you do have to go through it, and I use some combination like GPT for sheets.
Okay.
But I just haven't had the time to sit down.
Absolutely, time is money, and a lot of people, especially, are you just by yourself at the moment?
I have team members as well. So.
But they're helping out, but the brunt of it, you're doing all the work, right? And
exactly.
The time is precious, and a lot of people don't have the time to do this stuff, so they do outsource. They do go for lead generation agencies, and I'm guessing that's the type. Are they the people you've been speaking to? Are lead gen agencies?
And they're charging like $2,000 a month, and I'm just like, that is just, I'm too small for that. Like soon, maybe one day, maybe. I would love to be able to afford a lead gen agency. Honestly, like I'd love to be able to afford a good lead gen agency, but it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Into my current budget. So I was like, okay.
Cool. And just so you're aware, Johnny, we're not lead gen. Okay, I don't know if you knew that from the email. We're AI and hyper automations. Okay, cool. Oh, I told you that, right?
You told me, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I just need to save some time here, because the campaigns need to go up. I got my first clients with cold email. I know cold email.
Yeah. Good.
I just turned it off because I went to Upwork and cold email are the opposite, right? So Upwork, like it's warm.
I'm on Upwork myself. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you'll know it's hard to scale, right? Because you're limited to how many people are searching for the thing that they type in.
Precisely.
And some months it's great, and it comes in swarms, and like you just it's like okay, like I've got enough to handle. And then other months, you're just like it is. So I want to turn cold email back on.
Okay, cool.
Go back to my roots. I want to try cold email another time. Something a bit more automated. So again, the issue with Upwork is that you always have to. I don't know what your strategy is for getting work there, but for me, personalized looms works a charm.
Yeah,
so great,
phenomenal. And I automate that somehow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't automate the videos, but I automate sort of.
Yeah, so I've got Gig Radar. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Yeah.
That's been working really well for me so far, and I just attached like a VSL underneath my cover letter.
Yeah.
That works. That's been working reasonably well. But they just released another thing that helps you filter, because the problem is that it's wasting my connects. Too many in a go. And again, like I come from a developer background. I moved into marketing, so I mainly focus right now on B2B marketing. But I thought, okay, I could just write a Python script, automate some of this. There's a reason I transitioned from developing to marketing. I was a very mediocre developer.
So are you using any of your developing skills in your current in your company now? Is there any sort of
sometimes? Yeah. So I had this thing that would it would scrape the. I didn't know any Python. I did stuff like AWS and like Terraform and Ansible. So I didn't really know any Python. So I got GPT to write it. And obviously, when you get GPT to write it, it's terrible. So it's just full of bugs. But it worked. Like it would scrape. It would use Beautiful Soup. It would scrape the website. But now you have stuff like Clay. But again, Clay is super expensive. So all these low-code tools, they exist. They're all very expensive. And again, like I'm knee deep in fighting fires with clients, so I never get and when you're building or developing something, you need to be focused. Like you cannot be jumping back.
100%.
And a marketing brain and a developer brain is completely different.
Yeah.
So the task switching element, but then there's also you're just using a different part of your brain which you haven't used in a while.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm a very mediocre. But there's a reason I had to step away from that, because I realized I just do not have the patience to debug. I understand at top levels. That's why I love low code and stuff.
Yeah.
But there are just so many instances where you need that you have to be able to code properly.
Okay.
So I also put up a job being like, hey, can somebody help me automate some of this cold email stuff?
And did you get many responses? Any applications?
But then again, I have to manage it, right? So I have to tell them what to do. I have to explain to them, I want, as soon as this thing comes in, I want you to scrape this, and I want to be able to click a button and have it filter by my ICP. But
lovely. Okay, cool.
Extract the information out of you. I was like, there must be a software by now that does this. Like,
okay.
Something must exist.
I can talk you through. I can 100% talk you through that. I just need to. There's just a couple other things I just want to ask you.
Go for it.
So, in terms of, is there anything else you're doing other than Upwork and cold email in the back? Have you got any other strategies for lead generation?
No, that's it. That's okay. Those are the new ones. I'm thinking of doing paid ads, because one of my key services is paid ads myself. So eventually.
And they do well in that space, in the marketing space.
Pardon?
Paid ads do quite well in the marketing space.
They do, usually, but you just got to be ready for it. And I'm still figuring out sort of my target market as well, what to go after. So
when did you put
is to test, and then paid ads is for scale.
And when did you put out the applications on Upwork? How long have you been sort of looking for something like this?
It's still up, so I'm still looking for people to just come in and like a VA to just help me get the campaigns up. It's like the copy is there. I just can't bother to download the list and filter it.
So are you looking for? Are you looking for?
Stupid amounts, so it's just like.
Yeah. Have you looking for a more of a like a lead scraping automation? Because
that is the thing that takes so much time. It's a lead scrape, not just lead scraping, scraping and filtering.
The filtering is easy. We can 100% do that. It depends where you're getting your list from, though. If you're scraping Apollo, then you have to do industry checks and
so filthy.
Yeah. But if you're
worst lists,
if you're getting a list from, say, if you're scraping LinkedIn Sales Navigator automatically, you have got much higher quality leads, and you're less likely to actually need to filter that through.
I imagine,
which obviously you always need to check your leads in terms of, with like a verifier. You always need to check if they're valid. But in terms of Apollo, you need to add an extra step in to check whether the industry is correct, because they get so much wrong. You can get a bunch of
true.
it. Yeah.
Like I did a B2B SaaS campaign. Half of them were software developer companies.
There you go. Okay, cool.
Throwing me up the wall. Really frustrating, but yeah.
Okay. So our core offering, the automation we put into businesses the most is a hyper-personalizer. Don't know if this will be exactly relevant to you, just because you already have the copy, but you'll know yourself with email deliverability. You can't just be sending the same email over and over again to the same people. You can use spin tags, but it's even that's changing now in 2025. Google.
Apparently you can't use spin tags anymore. Like they're
so
figuring it out.
you need to, from top to bottom, personalize that email. So what this does, you can scrape the leads from Apollo. We can check it in terms of, we can do it from LinkedIn Sales Navigator, wherever, scrape the leads. We can then do all kinds of checks. We can put them through, have you heard of Perplexity?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can put them through that to do like an AI search engine. Search that lead, that company, everything about them. Then we can do the check once we know everything about them. Then we can actually use Claude, which is or GPT-4o, but Claude's a lot cheaper. It's 50% the price, but has just the same amount of human-like. Yeah, Claude's incredible in terms of the API usage, but it has just the same.
Yeah, the pro plan is like.
Yeah, but in terms of in terms of the API and the rate limits and everything like that, you can use Claude. It's 50% cheaper than GPT-4o, but has just the same amount of human-like personalization. So we can then take everything that we learn from this lead from Perplexity, create a top-to-bottom email in the exact structure that you like. So still in your structure, however you use it, whether it's icebreaker, value hook, social proof, CTA, or whatever it is you do in terms of your structure. We can train it to use that structure, upload them into, I think, did you use Smartly, do you?
Yeah,
upload into, is that?
I might be changing back to Instantly, I don't know.
I use Instantly personally, I think it's great, but put them into Instantly, and so all you've done, I'll show you this in a moment so you can understand it a bit better, but all you've done is input something into an application that I build for you, and then so whether it's your ICP or whether it's a search you've already done in terms of the URL, it will then in the back end scrape all this, do everything I've just mentioned, and put it into Instantly, ready for you to send out as and when to get those leads in. And you can imagine, one, it's good for your email deliverability. You're landing in more inboxes. Because you're landing in more inboxes, you're getting more replies. And because of the hyper-personalization element of it, you're just getting replies. Even if they're not positive, you're still getting replies because people are saying, thank you so much for actually looking into my business. This isn't right for us now, but thanks so much for doing the research. Not many people do that. So without further ado, shall I just show you exactly sort of what it looks like?
This sounds like a sort of like something you could do with like a low-code setup, like make something. I'm really curious to see even the back end.
Yeah, cool. I can. Well, I mean,
I wouldn't feel it or anything, but
in the
I'm very curious.
After a if this was successful and we worked together, then it is built on Make, and that will be on your account.
Nice. Yeah.
So I'll show you exactly how that looks if you just bear with me a moment. I've got too many tabs open here. Okay. So I'll show you the app that I've already implemented into one business, and then I'll show you what the personalizations look within my Instantly at the moment. Because the email that you received was very generic. This is going to be completely different.
How does it, okay, I'll ask that at the end. I'll just let you rock.
Yeah, I'll show you exactly what we do. Where are we here? Cool, so this is an example of what I've done for a, what were they? They were like, they had their own CRM platform, and they had so many different ways of lead generation, so many different strategies, but they also had their own cold emailing team, and it just wasn't working. They wanted some sort of automation, right? So, can you see this okay? Johnny?
Oh yeah, I'm on mute.
Sorry, I can't see the screen. So basically, either you'd start it by putting in an Apollo or a LinkedIn search URL. the campaign ID that you want this to go in. Say you're running maybe 2 or 3 campaigns. So for example, I sold this to a email marketer. He had over like 50 clients, so he needed to make sure that each client were having their own campaign in their own workspace, in their own separate campaign. So you put the campaign ID. If that's not needed, it's not needed. The workspace that it's going in, and the industry, and this is what we'll use to do the industry check. If you were to do it off Apollo, you put that in. AI will take that, take that and do the check. So you'd put the actual industry in. I'm not sure if this has made sense. I'm just going over it one more time.
Because I tried building something like this, but I didn't Python. I didn't have an interface. It was horrible because I had to build the Python interface.
I mean, if you want, I could knock a little bit off the price and not even give you the app if you're familiar with Make, and I could just tell you to run it through Make. It's not something I do, and it's not my brand is.
I don't have time. I literally don't.
Okay, yeah. So
maybe we'll see.
You just want the app.
At the end.
Yeah, exactly.
I just need campaigns going out. I'm putting this off for literally the longest time. They just need to go out.
Yeah.
It needs to be seamless.
Okay, cool. So this is as seamless as it will get. You literally input everything. If you want to do your own search on, say, on LinkedIn Sales Navigator or Apollo, you put it into here. The automation does the scraping for you, it does the personalizing for you, and adds it into instantly. So I'll just show you quickly what it looks like. So this is the sort of level of personalization we're talking. I haven't even put a single word in. It's literally just all variables, right? This is examples. This isn't something I've sent out, so ignore the social proof. But this is what we call the personalization. So this is you'll know this anyway, but this is what's gonna drive opens. We don't track the open rates, but people are gonna see this in their inbox body preview, and it's gonna make them want to open it. Once they've opened it and we've rubbed their ego a little bit, it's then right. Okay, this is what we do. So whatever your biggest ever value hook is, I'll work with you for that. But if you wrote your campaigns already, we can just sort of work together and bounce ideas off each other, and test it in different ways. But that's the value hook. There's the social proof. So your best ever case study. And if I was to show you loads of different ones, it would be the exact same structure. It would be the icebreaker, then it would be the TLDR, then it would be the social proof, then it would be either can I send you a video? What's it called? Personalized to your business, D3A in this example, or whatever. Can I send more info? However it is, we don't sell on the first cold email. I'm sure you already know. We just want to provide value and drive replies. Again,
it's like you should be able to do that, not anymore.
Then it's a PS. So look, even if this isn't a fit, I do want to hear more about how technology is reshaping the venture capital and advisory services. So again, hyper-personalized drives replies. Then we can go into the follow-up, again, hyper-personalised. Hey Richard, I'm just getting back to you on this. You're incredible at doing this, but what if we could do that for you as well? I recently built this for a similar firm, and again, social proof and a bit of a joke at the bottom. If this doesn't uncover at least 15 game-changing tech opportunities, I'll personally pitch startups using nothing but a carrier pigeon. We can take that out. It's completely tailored to how you want it. A lot of people like a little jokey thing.
I do that stuff all the time.
Yeah, there you go. So that's essentially it. So what you'll see is you'll just put that into into the app, and then leads will just fill up. So you want to send out 10,000, you will scrape probably 15,000 leads, or put a search for 15,000 leads. Once they're all verified, they go into your campaign. All you have to do is click a button to press send. Obviously change the options and the settings and everything, but it takes 5 minutes before you send out a campaign. And once it's sending, as you know, every 20 minutes emails are just getting sent out. So that's the basis of it. That's the core offering. Everything's bespoke however you want it. If you want things changing, if you don't need this but you want that, for example, that can get changed and optimized and tailored to you.
Very, very nice. I'm guessing you need my, if I use Million Verifier or whichever one to check the emails, do you need that API?
I need every single, so I'd need your Instantly API, I need API keys you'd need to create Perplexity and Claude accounts, I'd need your Million Verifier API. If you wanted all the leads to go into a central database like Google Sheets, I'd need your Google Sheets API and stuff like that.
Cool.
Appify, we need to get you set up on there, which is where we're going to be scraping the leads from and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. So it's good for Apify.
Yeah.
Nice. I've never used it.
There's my secret sauce for you.
Is it better than Apollo then? Is what you...
We use Apify. There's Apollo scrapers on Apify. That's how we do it.
So Apify is what you're using to scrape Apollo. Makes a ton of sense.
I was going to say, I don't know if that was a good R or a bad one.
I pay for that Apify.
Oh, cool.
Thing. Yeah, fine. That's fair enough. Okay.
So what are your initial thoughts? I just want to get your initial thoughts on how it works, what you think. What's on the top of your head right now? Are you thinking, no, this won't work for me?
My head is how often is it gonna break?
No, it's created to not break.
Okay.
I've done this for the email marketer who, like I said, does about 4 scrapes a day. Doesn't break. We obviously end-to-end testing. I can't give you an automation that hasn't been end-to-end tested at least 10 times on my own account with my own money, right? It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
I can't just give you an automation that is going to break, and I'm going to have to fix it, right? This is made to not break. Unless you're not pulling. It's designed to pull data in a very structured way. So if you go on Apify and you start playing with that, or if you go on, I don't know, Perplexity or something, and you start playing with stuff, then it's break. But if you use it how it's intended, it's unbreakable.
Yeah, nice. Okay, great. And then, are you throwing this through like my concern is when you're generating the email copy with AI. My concern is that AI has a tendency to put in spam words. So they'll say things like free audit.
Yeah.
Free is definitely, that's an immediate spam word. You're going straight to the bin if you put that in there. I mean, not always, but it's like, why are we risking this? So let's just get in the inbox. Even putting money, I would never put money. I would never put £7,432.
But the thing is, Johnny, this is a trick. If you put a space between the pound sign and the value, it's not considered spam.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And so have you trained it to actually do stuff like that? Because
absolutely.
There are all sorts of odd words. So when you pass it through, so what I normally have to do is I have to pass my email copy through Mail Meteor spam checker.
Yeah.
And check my phrasing until I get
That's exactly what I do. Yeah.
Spam free. Is your AI doing that?
No. I wonder if there is a Mail Meteor API. That would be really cool. But
thinking that as well. I was like, why isn't there a Mail Meteor API?
What you do is it's through testing. So you keep testing and you not understand. You then put it through Mail Meteor once it's giving you an output, and then you start tweaking it. Everything's through prompting. I'm not going to prompt this once and that's it. It'll probably take me 50 times to prompt it to make sure that it's outputting exactly what you want. And I understand what you're saying about spam words.
Yeah.
That's true.
I really wish Mail Meteor, because there's another tool. There's another AI tool, and I wonder if they have an API. I can't remember what it was called, but they do have a tool that lets you
check for spam.
Lets you check for spam.
So
like a GPT, like a custom. It's basically their own custom GPT that they've already made. And I wonder if they have an API. I never looked. Again, I've been too busy.
But what I showed you, if I was to put that in Mail Meteor, I probably would get a scoring of poor because of maybe 1 or 2 words. Yeah. Which you can train. So I've told it to stay away from risk-free, guarantee, just words like that. Make sure it's put a space in. So you can just prompt it and give it really specific prompting to make sure that it doesn't spit out.
So would I have an interface to be able to prompt it, or is that done on your end?
That's really interesting. I looked at this with someone else. There is potential for you to put into the app. This would become a lot more bespoke. And a lot more bespoke and complexity. Obviously adds quite a lot to the price because it could take me a day or 2 days of editing and putting it in and building that. Or I could train you, give you a quick video on how to change the prompts within Claude and everything in the back end.
I'm sure I could figure it out,
100% sure you could,
I could probably figure it out, so you could do that as well. Okay. Interesting.
I mean, it's just designed.
I've also got a guy who has a really good email. Like, he sells inboxes, and I know what you're thinking. Like, last year, if you told me that, I was like, I would never go for a reseller of inboxes. But I used him for a client of mine, or rather, the client hired him. I told the client, "This is a terrible idea. What are you doing?" They did it anyway. But that one inbox is capable of sending 999 emails. It costs $100 a month. but it works out the same as when if you had just bought those inboxes yourself, and it saves your accountant a bit of fat as well.
That's really interesting. How does that actually
Yeah.
work? How can an inbox send?
Like this guy, his speciality is just email deliverability, and he just like he farms these inboxes, and then he gets them into his own private pool. So when he creates a new inbox, he creates a new he adds them into his pool, and then because his pool authority is good. He's been in IT for like 20 years, and then in the last 10 years he specialized in email deliverability. That's all he does.
That's really interesting.
He's created this mega inbox that clients used, and I checked it instantly, and I was like, trust me, within a week, the instantly warm up score is going to be like 50% or something, and it ran for a month, 0 issues. Yeah, and deliverability was really good. We were getting decent reply rates and positive reply rates on campaigns.
I also have my own infrastructure. And automations which set up the DNS records, but it doesn't sound anywhere near as good as that. I mean, my deliverability's been really good. I'm selling it. Are you Outlook or did I land in your Google?
Gmail.
Yeah, Gmail. Yeah.
Gmail. Yeah. So have you got both Gmail and Outlook?
Yeah, accounts.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you use both. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the Smartly community, and people can't make up their mind as to whether it makes a difference whether they use an Outlook to Outlook or Gmail to Gmail setup.
Instantly seem to think it do. They have their own feature where you can match the ESP. Yeah. So Outlook will send to Outlook and Gmail to Gmail.
That's cool. Yeah, that's nice. Interesting. So I think that's really my only concern. But I could counterset that concern by getting an inbox that is fairly, safe. Although, like he did say, if you use it, please don't overuse it, because that client did start putting in some terrible.
What does he mean by overuse? Because if it's 999 emails a day, sure, that's enough to run a pretty beefy campaign.
I don't know. I saw it. I saw them send 999 a day, and I was watching the deliverability, and it was.
How long for?
A month, and then I stopped working with them because they were toxic. But I was watching them very closely. I was watching all the different people that they were hiring and stuff.
So they were getting a lot of leads in and stuff.
They were getting leads in, yeah.
I mean, that's the main thing with cold email deliverability, with cold emailing, is it's not about volume anymore. It used to be about volume. It's not. It's about inbox placement. You have to land in the inbox. That's all it is, right?
It's not just inbox placement. It's got to be primary inbox placement.
Yeah.
Because people have it in Gmail, you can have like promotions.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't land in those either. Like you can be in the inbox, but if you're in promotions. Well, that's as good as that's only one tiny bit higher than the spam.
Exactly, and this is what it's good for. This system is and you'll know yourself is the difference in copy. Yeah. It's very much human-like. It copies human nature in terms of.
It's just going off a template, isn't it? It's not actually doing. It's not using a template. It's using a template, but the AI is generating the copy by itself. So every single email is different.
Every single email is different. The only thing that's the same is the TLDR. That's the only thing that, in that value hook, the too long didn't read.
It's pretty cool. Because what was it? So there's a company that just got funded 5 million. I'm working inside a tech start. I'm doing the audit phase of a tech startup, so I'm not fully onboarded yet. They need to see how good my strategy is before they decide to work with me.
Okay.
But they got pitched a software called Genesy, Genesy. And it would scrape. What it would do is it had an auto sense. So they are basically trying to replace all cold email outbound software, replacing La Growth Machine, Wallexy, LinkedIn. Those LinkedIn auto connector tools. Instantly, they're like, we're going to replace instantly. We're going to replace scraping tools. We're doing it all, right? And it's a really cool looking software. And the thing that was interesting for me is when they were sending the tools, for their sending tool, their instant queue replacement, I asked them, like, are you checking for spam words? And they were like, no, but you don't have to, because the AI is sending them individually. Like the AI is creating the copy. If you want to, you can put a template and it will do that. But we recommend that you use AI to craft each email, so it's hyper-personalised to each person.
Okay.
So they're under the belief that that's what matters. Like the fact that each email is different, even if it has a few spam words here and there.
And that's exactly what
It's good.
yeah, well, it's the same as what mine. Like I said, if you put it into, I put one of the things into Mail Meteor. I could show you now if you'd like, and it came up with poor, and it was like new, or the word was something that you just wouldn't,
You do have to wonder what Mail Meter is doing in the background.
Yeah.
What are they actually doing in the background to check if it's spam? Are they literally just like, is it just, we're assuming that Mail Meter is a super complicated thing that's checking, and it's using AI to check if it's spam, if it's going to land as spam. It literally could just be like a one-page bash script that just check if this keyword exists, look up the table, and then check if it exists. If it exists, or if it does not exist, then it could just be a very, very simple rule base.
And it is. I've just put it in, and it's given me the overall score of poor, and the two words are deal and now.
Yeah.
In a proper hyper-personalised email, how can you that's not gonna. I just don't see that. Like these people said, this software people, I just don't see that making you.
So now it's making me rethink things as well, because on the one hand, I got these cold emails that are telling me like I use Pentax and I put 10 variations in every Pentax, and every Pentax is like, and then you get and then I pass it through Mail Meteor, and then only then does it send through, and then I see people at Genesee that I talk to, they're like, doesn't matter, just use AI.
And they know what they're on about. Surely, they must know.
I don't know, yeah. I have to say now, it's a cold email. It used to be so simple.
It's a science. It is a science.
Literally, you have to be like, I don't know, you have to be working at those inbox companies now to know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting, though. And what sort of reply rates are you getting? Like, I don't know, a positive reply rate, or whatever. It is what it is. What sort of reply rates are you getting?
I've run one campaign that got about 12% reply rate. I implemented this into a recruitment company. They hire for the FTSE 100, so their reply rates were poor anyway, because there's only 100 companies and people that they can.
And also enterprise.
Exactly. And
these sorts of filters you're never getting in.
This was incredibly bespoke. This has been my biggest thing, the biggest system I've ever built. So it was it was very different, because we were having to contact the right people at the right time, and there was just follow-ups for weeks. We were continuously nurturing them with hyper-personalised emails completely automatically. So it's actually quite different, but they saw like 15 to 16, 15.4 or something % reply rate on theirs. The email marketer, he has got a very different. His doesn't hyper-personalise it. He just wanted a one-line icebreaker, which I say don't work. What doesn't work anymore? Instantly allow you to do the icebreaker, just stuff like that. I just don't think that works. I think you do really need a top-to-bottom email, and I haven't really seen many other people doing something like this. But the response rate's great. Now it's the positive reply rate that can change. If you're getting any less than 20%, that's bad. But this has been seen about 40%. The campaign I did with you, I got a 3% response rate, 3.4, with a 25% positive reply rate from there. So you can see just the massive difference. I think the industry average, which you'll probably know yourself, is about 2%.
So you were still testing just like a generic one, just to see what would happen.
So have you ever heard of Mail Scale? No. So
I have. Yeah. Wait. Those are the mailbox guys.
Yeah, they're the mailbox guys. Yeah. So I ended up getting a call with them and somehow bargaining a couple months for free, and also them to write the email copy. So they wrote the email copy, which they charged $2,000 a month for. Their email writing, they've done it for years, right? And I wanted to test that, like you say, against my one. And there's just so much of a difference, and now I'm incredibly confident in my system that I can just get on calls like this and just think you'd be stupid not to.
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Not calling you stupid, Johnny, obviously, but you you understand what I'm saying.
All right. How much is it? Let's see. I'm gonna
So
let's compare this with the
and
whatnot. But honestly, like it just sounds cool.
Yeah. So
let's see what it is.
You currently pay $2,000 a month. I haven't sold, or you've been quoted $2,000 a month, right? Which is stupid money. This system, if you were to do an Apollo search URL, put it into you were to do your own search on either LinkedIn or Apollo, LinkedIn would go up a little bit more. So if it was Apollo, if we did all the industry checks, if we filtered them and personalised and added it instantly, that's $3,500 for the system.
One time.
You pay ongoing costs, but if you were to run this once every month, the ongoing costs would be 70 quid, 80 quid. I can get something exact for you, but
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, and obviously you're instantly, so it would go up to about 150 a month with instantly as well.
That's fine. I'm doing that anyway. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Is that GBP? Are you VAT registered? So is it including or excluding?
That's excluding VAT.
Excluding VAT.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So you are okay. Right. So you are VAT registered, right?
No, I'm not. No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But you are UK based or?
Yeah, I'm Staffordshire. Where are you based?
London.
Okay. Do you know Staffordshire?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
It's
Anything north of Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside the M25 belt.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
So I mean, it's the cheapest that'll probably ever be as well. In all fairness, as you can imagine, a system like this will probably generate you that and it's generated other people the return of investment in a month, 2 months, stuff like that. You know.
And then what? You show me the back end as well.
You get the back end.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah. Look, that actually sounds super enticing, to be honest. Right? That actually does not sound too terrible at all.
Is it better than you're expecting? A lot. I'd imagine it probably was, just because if you can imagine the system and what it does, and the potential of return on investment (ROI) there for you to keep and run for as long as you want.
Prompts like whether it does go through Perplexity, right? And it like filters the ICP and everything. So like if I ever want to, because I'm chasing different ICP, I'm testing a crazy number of ICPs. I'm doing investment companies, real estate, B2B SaaS. I'm testing them all. So would you show me how to like go into the back end and change it so that it would adjust?
Yeah, but the thing is with Perplexity, that's not what we'd do. Is we'd put the lead dynamically into Perplexity. So every lead would dynamically go in there. All we give it is name, title, company, location, so it knows the exact company that it's searching for. Yeah. And then we do the industry check. We go, okay, Perplexity, give me the industry. AI will then do another check to say, is what you've put in, you want to reach out to construction, for example. You want to reach out, you've put that into the app. Does the output from Perplexity match what Johnny put into the app? If it doesn't, it won't carry on. If it does, if it's a construction company and you want to reach, does this make sense? Construction people, then it will carry on through the flow.
The way I was doing it in GPT for Sheets is I would like say, tell me, it was so hard to prompt this. I don't know how the heck you got around this because it still didn't work for my in the B2B side. I still ended up with a bunch of software companies. I said, is this either a SaaS company or a software development company? And it would say, this is a software development company. I'm like, no,
The email marketer did the exact same thing. He used GPT for Sheets. He personalized through there and he did the check through there. I can't remember what his prompt was. And he's been incredibly, he said it's perfect what this prompt does.
Really?
Not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I'm not going to say we're the best in the world at this. That's not what I'm trying to say, but it works.
No, because I also tried I also tried doing the I also tried a like a scoring system, like give me the likelihood that this is a SaaS, and then from 8 to 10 it was terrible.
But it's that could work. I looked into that when he said I want to add this check-in. I looked into that, but I found the prompt that I use now. And the best thing is Perplexity. It literally is a search. It searches the company. Yeah. What better information can you get?
What could you think of? Like,
exactly.
Why did I not think of that? Because then I had to do the API myself, and I couldn't be bothered. Fair enough. Yeah, nice. Okay. I'm seriously thinking about this. Like, that's a.
I'm not surprised.
My size, it's a fair chunk of change, but you know what? If it does, like, if you covered all of my issues, like, I mean, this saves me like how much in development time, right?
But it's a system.
I sell CRM automation, so back end stuff. That's the usual sort of price point I charge as well.
And if you think about that, this is cheap in the terms that it's going to drive ROI. You're going to probably get it back within a month, 60 days, 90 days for sure. And
well, it depends how good my offer is and my copy. But
well, I work with you on that. I'll work with you on that, Johnny.
Yeah, fair play. Okay, let me get back to you within the next day or so.
Mm-hmm. Go chat with the accountant.
I've literally chat with the accountant, chat with my partner as well. Because I promise I'll not buy any more consulting programs over £5,000. This is a done for you thing, so I think
it's done for you. You own it, you keep it. It's completely just implemented right into your business for you to own, keep, drive for as long as you want.
Yeah, fair play. And payment, is that through Stripe?
Yeah, we can do Stripe.
Yeah. Okay, great. So then I can charge it through the credit card and make some points off that. Um,
Is it Amex? Are you with the?
no, I'm with Capital on tap. Amex is some interface. I know Amex gives better benefits overall, but it's just their interface driving up the freaking balls.
Because a lot of people say to me, "Can we do Stripe?" Because then I get some sort of points on my Amex, so I can then fly to some guys going.
Card, though. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but I'm at a limit. So my limit refreshes on the 28th. So
3 days.
Go ahead. It'll be like I would pay like on that date so that I would be able to like do the direct thing and then
I'm with you.
refresh it. No, it sounds good. Yeah.
And the good thing about you is normally I offer some sort of because it is tech. I offer some sort of.
I'm trying to get complaints. Like I don't know how to.
Yeah, but I can't. I can't just like be talking with you and some client who has paid for it one time then get on the phone saying it's not working, even though I've showed them it's working. They have to pay for some sort of support. But
like this is the biggest problem I'm having, like sending CRM automations to. They never. Like I give them a custom wiki. My colleague, my contractor, he now does the service delivery. He builds a custom wiki for them, and they still come up with a question, and we tell them it's in the video, and they still can't do it. So I understand the frustration.
Yeah.
As well.
But that's where I offer some sort of support package. But for you, I don't think you need it. I'll train you all on it, like I do with everyone else. But for you, I think you've definitely got a bit between your ears, as some clients don't. Yeah. So you understand. I think you'll be fine with it.
Nice. Okay. Let's follow up with me tomorrow. I'm going to take a look, see what my limit is on my credit card, see if I can push that through.
Cool.
I might not be able to just yet, but I'm seriously considering it. This is yeah.
And if you need any more information or anything, you have any questions, I'll drop me an email. I'm always on the email, just like every single CEO is. That's why it's such a good avenue for, as long as you're landing in the inbox, like we've said, because CEOs are checking it 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. It's the only platform that they are.
True.
Cold email is great.
Yeah. No, this is great, honestly. And you know what it means? I don't have to explain stuff as well. Because the only thing is, like, when I've tried working with other developers, you have to explain. So that's always a bit of fat.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I got to bounce.
Yeah. Sorry.
People, do not let me go. Whatever CRM you're using, make sure you put a tag to follow up with me until I close.
So what, tomorrow or when? Just so we're not chasing each other. Give me a time frame.
Thinking Thursday, because tomorrow's a half day. So Thursday. Yeah.
Okay.
If I haven't sent you an email by then yeah.
I'll drop you a line.
Yeah. Can you, like, in the meantime, can you send me like a contract of like deliverables? I don't know how you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got a template. I'll send that today.
That way, because this is what I do when I sell my CRM automations. Because otherwise, you just get scope creep and stuff. Just so I know what isn't included.
Absolutely. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that's so great. Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
cool.
Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Ben.
pleasure to meet you, and we'll catch up soon.
Yeah, catch you soon. Yeah,
take care.
Thanks so much.
Bye
Bye for now.